Hi, friends. It's me, Courtney, the Renaissance Mama. But today I have the honor of hosting The Blaze. And before I even let you say hello to all my fantastic ladies here, I have to do a special hello to Zelina because she is brand new to the Femme Network. So, Zelina, I was going to say Selena. No, very different. Zelina, can you please say hello to everybody and maybe just share a little bit about your show, what's it called, and what people can expect from you?
Oh my goodness, Courtney, that was amazing. Like you say this was last minute, but I think you're up to something. I think this was, you're really good at that. I love it. My name is Zelina. I'm Zelina Chinwa, and I am a mental health therapist by profession in the state of Louisiana. And I am also the host of the Dear Unapologetically Me podcast. The platform is designed for people to feel safe, but also a platform for that we can feel empowered as well as living in your authenticity that we sometimes shy away from, and doing it radical and doing it your way. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're gonna take it there. It's radical over there. So that's pretty much the logistics of the whole podcast platform.
I love it. And what I love most about Zelina's show, if you haven't checked her out yet, is just your heart and your passion. I can tell every time you're talking about something that, like, oh, you mean it. Like, I love it so much. So I know I
Thank you.
cannot
Thank
wait
you.
to see more of you and what's to come.
Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate that. I'm coming with them. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's 2024. I'm gonna do it.
And Nikki, Shona, how are you two doing?
Fantastic. I'm excited to be here.
Shona, how about you?
I'm really happy to be here too. And it's really nice to meet you, by the way. Welcome to the team. Yeah,
Right.
you seem awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
Amazing. So we wanted to chat today. Obviously, Bell Mental Health Day, Let's Talk just passed. So we thought, why not talk more about this wonderful conversation that I think needs to be said? And the funniest part was I was actually going to start this with like, we are not experts, blah, blah, but I'm like, wait a second, Zelina's kind of an expert. So I'll just preach out that I'm not an expert. Mine is fully just opinion. But I also think sometimes there's importance to that as well, right? Like just opening conversations with everybody about mental health and different things that we're all dealing with. Awesome. Well, ladies, let's just get started. Let's hop right into it. I mean, there's so many questions I could ask, but what is everyone's thought on mental health? Shona, I'm going to you first, girl.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, for me, I've had my own struggles with mental health, which I'm pretty open about. And I've overcome over the years. And I think for me personally, I just think that it's something that needs to be a little bit more talked about. It is talked about now, but I think it needs to be more of an open conversation. And I think the stigma is still there, even though it is getting better. Even sometimes I'm shy to say about my experiences because people are going to think something strange about me. But I've gotten to a point now where I'm really proud about talking about my own experiences and how I've overcome them. And I'm trying to use that to get more people to talk about it. So I think right now we're doing well, but I think there's a lot of work that does still need to be done. That's my opinion on that.
So key. I get that. Zelina, what do you think? You must have a totally different perspective.
Listen, it's a different perspective, but it's universal, like she stated before. I guess being in the profession, one of the great things is that I may find that it's powerful, the fact that we're here. And I feel that mental health is every aspect of your life. It's no capacity in your life that you don't involve your noggin, they say, relationships, finances, jobs, everything. Everything revolves around your mental health. And being a therapist in the field, I feel that even though COVID was so traumatic, it was, for therapists, it was like breaking the glass ceiling because for the first time in my life, I was hearing the word self-care from other people that did not look like me. It's like we were on it. Self-care, no kids, I'm not dealing with you today. It's self-care time. It was just a word that it's become a part of our, I would say, mental health DNA. So I'm seeing, like she stated before, there are some more work to do, but just the fact that we're here now, and people and companies and corporations are taking into consideration that,
Yes.
hey, people are not robots, they're human. They have I think it's 5 or 6 senses. Yeah, forgive me if I'm wrong. I think it's 5, y'all. 5 senses. One of those. And they're human. They're human. So I think that, again, we still have work to do. But the fact, like she stated, it's breaking the stigma. I love to hear the transparency. I always say healing, and there's healing in transparency. And even though that's something that we're not used to doing because society expectation says, oh God, if you talk about, your bad day, oh, people are going to judge you. And I think that's normal because that's how it has been, conditioned in our society. But like she stated, it's so self-empowering to know, man, I just put that out there.
Yeah.
Whether it feels different, but the fact of that empowerment, that's how we look at it from that perspective. So I'm excited about it. Y'all know I'm excited about it.
So good. Nikki, what about you?
I don't know what to say after that, but
Right?
I think, again, the conversation, and I think COVID really did open those doors because so many of us struggled in different ways to having the conversation more. But I agree, there's still a ways to go. I know I talk about my own mental health journey and struggles and ups and downs, but I think the biggest thing that also should be said and talked about is that it's not black and white. I think a lot of the time people are like, I struggle with mental health. It's like, you can struggle with mental health and still be thriving in different areas of your life, or still collaborate and share your experience and be like a valuable member. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it has it in like the actual verbiage, like health, right? Like when you think of your own body's health, like nobody's the same. Everyone's unique. Everyone's trying to look for that magic answer, but it's not, it's unique to you. So like there's so many different facets to it. And yeah, oh, this is going to be a good conversation, ladies. All right. So now I need to know from each of you, like, how do you individually prioritize your own mental health? So Zelina, I'm coming to you first this time.
Okay. And again, I'm going to be very transparent because I teach this a lot. I guess it's more unorthodox, in terms of talk therapy, but how I deal with my own mental health is I do a lot of self-talk. I have named the other person in my head. I think her name's Wanda today. She's Wanda. Okay. and we're in Louisiana. It's humid. It's raining. And Wanda is talking to me like, listen, it's Friday, talking to me very nurturing, because again, I feel that sometimes we get away from the fact of caring for ourselves, being kind to ourselves. And Wanda keeps me into perspective. It's literally a conversation consistently. If I'm rationalizing something, I'm not feeling down. And then also I have my own therapist as well. So I think that's something that you probably don't hear a lot, therapists having therapists, or not discussed openly.
Amazing.
But when Wanda's tired, I go to my own therapist. And
It's Wanda taking a break. What's she doing?
she's done for the day. So I go to my own therapist because again, I'm in the field. I'm hearing how other people are experiencing going through life. And again, I'm human. Even though I'm working in this capacity, I still have moments just like universal problems, stressors, life challenges, financial challenges. So in order for me to prioritize, I have to have a lot of self-talk moments just to get me through whatever challenge may be, or just to say, hey, you did that, you're doing it, and I really reply back to Wanda and say, thank you, Wanda, so y'all probably like, what? But that's a form of
I'm excited. I'm like, I want to talk to Wanda. I want to have one-on-one here.
Yes.
Shona, what about you?
Speaking about Tawanda, I'm the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. She's like, Tawanda. I was like totally picturing that when you're saying that.
Yes.
I agree with you. I try to, when I have a negative thought come into my head, I try to replace it with a positive one. And sometimes it can be hard, but I really try. And so I think that's one of the things that I do. I've actually had to use it a lot more lately in the last, say, 4 or 5 years, because I've actually been going through a lot of harassment, and it's been really difficult for me. So for me to keep that straight head and going positive, 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 it can be hard, but I really try. And that's sort of something that I do for myself. I think also just taking a minute of quiet, just from everything, just turning everything off for, say, an hour, and just kind of being there, sitting there with my own thoughts, kind of just taking a deep breath, taking it all in. I try to do that once in a while. And trying to get exercise in is important too. You know, I never thought that that was a big part of it, but it really is. The minute you get moving and exercising, it relieves so much stress from your body and your brain and everything. And so that's another thing that I do. And I like to talk about what I'm going through too. I'm pretty open. I'm a singer-songwriter, so a lot of the times I get a lot of my emotions out in my songs. If I'm sad or happy or whatever, I go and I write a song, and it really just takes it all off my shoulders. So that's another thing that I do as well. Yeah.
Nikki, how do you prioritize your mental health?
The other ladies have already said such great things, but for myself, it comes back to that self-talk as well. I haven't named her, but now I want to. But it's the reminder, because I used to be very, very self-critical, very harsh. So it's the reminder to check in throughout the day of like, how am I feeling? How am I coping? And when I'm talking to myself, remind myself to talk to myself like I'm talking to my friend, or I'm talking to my kids, because I would never be that critical talking to those people that I love so much. So it's turning that lens onto myself and giving that as well. That's a big one. And I think when I have more awareness now, so I think if that's something that you struggle with, starting to pay more attention, because when I'm starting to, I say like spin, right? When things start kind of stacking up and I'm having a hard time and I can feel things building, I used to just push. I used to just be like, I'll just go through it and I'll just do the next thing and be more productive. And in those moments now, that's when I stop everything. That's when I just pause, because I've really learned that slowing down speeds everything up. Like if I can just stop and stop trying so hard, that always saves me from going into like a spiral, right?
So many good things here. It's funny, Shona, when you said, oh, take a break, and like then you're like, for an hour, I was like, an hour, oh my God, like that. But that's where I think it goes back to that individual again, because I, during COVID, very much realized I'm a movement-based person, and I need to get my workout in. I need to get outside. I need to get moving. And it was just like the point where like I'd be with my kids, my family, whatever. And I'm like, okay, mommy's going to the garage. I have to do my workout. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because if I don't, you're gonna, like, I could feel that tension. And it's something that I still do. And it's funny because like, that's how I prioritize it. It's like, I look at my list of things to do today, and that's not even on the list, because it's like it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, I always joke that I turn into a bear, but like nobody wants to see that version of me, and nor do I, right? Like I can feel it. And when I move, I can like actually feel that like come over me. So yeah, it's just so funny how individual it all is. Well, now I need to know, what do you do for self-care? Nikki, I'm going to you first.
Self-care. I feel like there's a lot of different things that I do. One of the things that I do for self-care, maybe it wouldn't be a traditional way you think about it, but I take a few minutes to like organize and prioritize. So something that I'll do is I'll do a brain dump. So I'll write everything out that's buzzing in my brain. And then I'll like circle like, what are the 3 priorities and what can I just get rid of? Because doing that, I feel like really sets myself up for the day or the week or whatever I'm looking at it. And it helps give me clarity, and it helps clear things out. And then the other thing too is just getting into water, like not like going for a swim, but like getting either a shower or a tub or something. It's just, for me, it's a way to kind of just wash the day away. And it always does like a flip of the switch for my brain. Cool. And I just feel so much better. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Zelina, what about you?
Oh, wow. I love her techniques. I love her.
Mm.
Oh my goodness, especially water. I just love
Yeah,
that.
that's cool. I know. I've like
Yes,
never like once again so individualized, and that's what I love about it,
yes,
right?
yes. Right. I guess what I would say for mine is the grounding in terms of the holistic
Mm.
side of things. I do try my best to connect with my environment because again, going back to those senses and things of that nature. Um, in terms of one of mine is the gardening. I like to garden. Like I'm scared of lizards. I'm scared of all that.
Mm.
But I will play in some soul like I am in a sandbox. And it's crazy. And when I feel the soil, normally when we feel soil it's really cold or, I could feel it sometimes just kind of helping me, just to say calm those moments of just being over involved, I would say. So now COVID, never owned a plant before. I think now I have about 14, 15 of them around the house. Oh yeah, it's bad. I am a plant I am a plant mom. Some of them I've named them, and everybody gets a name because again, it's just the fact of because I'm pouring so much, they can pour into me. If I water them, they'll look great, hopefully, fingers crossed. And another one that I love to do, and I'm pretty sure if you are a mother, you know exactly what this one is. And the self-care is sitting in my car. Uh,
Mm.
just it's so crazy. When we were growing up as kids, I would look at my mom out the door like, come in the house, we're ready for you. What's going on? We need dinner. You're just sitting here looking.
Mm.
Like, I remember going out to her like, what are you thinking? She's like, I'm just trying to take off one hat and put on the other.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, there's no hats around. What are you talking about? But now that I'm older, that moment of solitude, just that moment of just getting myself together, and to get back into the groove. I look at my car, some people are like, oh God, as a safe space, just for me to kind of, debrief before I move on, and even through college, you're going to say, oh my God, for me to study, I adapted sitting in my car.
No,
I'm
really?
telling you, I'm telling you,
Oh my
it's
God.
like a comfort. And look, I have a Hyundai Elantra, so it's kind of really small. And I'm just sit back with the, seat recline, and I'm a people gazer. I just love to watch people. So I think that's really self-caring to see people go walking in and out of Walmart thinking, I wonder what they're going to go and buy. It just to change the trajectory of always being so serious in the line of work that I do. So mine's again is the gardening, and I like my car, just sitting in my car because it just helps me process and just also helps me to debrief. So I'm like, what the? I've never heard of that before.
So,
So
no, I just love it because, like, once again, I feel like the car is one of the few places that I actually do feel anxiety. So that would be a place that I'd be like, no, thank you, I'm done. Pop out. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm done. So once again, so beautiful because it's so different for everybody. Shona, but what about you?
I have to agree with you in the car, actually. I do that once in a while. I'll just really take my time in the car. I'll be like, oh, we have to take stuff in. And I'll just kind of sit there and go, okay, well, that's okay. Let's wait a few more minutes, kind of take it slowly. And usually what I'll do sometimes is I'll take a few things off of my schedule that aren't really, really, really pertinent or important. And I'll just say, you know what, I'm going to just take those off today. And then everything else I'm going to do, I'm going to take it a little slower. I'm going to take a deep breath in between each thing I do. I'm going to really think about what I'm doing instead of feeling like I'm being robotic. And I find that really helps me when I don't feel like I have as many things to do within the day. Also too, I do go in the bath sometimes and just like sit in the water and lay in the water. I'll put like Epsom salts in there. I'll just take my time, breathe, think about where I am, just take it all really slow. And that usually works for me. Or also I will order takeout instead of cooking to take that one other thing off of my list. Just simple things like that really help me because I don't feel like I have as many things to do. So just
true.
taking it slower. Yeah.
Beautiful. That kind of goes right into our next question is like, how do all of you ladies really just handle some of those like social expectations of being a woman, whether it's, you know, how you're looking or dressing or a mom or a business or life or work, or like, how do you kind of handle some of those expectations? And I do believe obviously it has such an importance in our mental health, because we're constantly putting on what you guys said before, being that critical or those like really unrealistic expectations on ourselves. But how do you all sort of handle that? So Shona, I'm going to you first.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to say I write songs about being a woman. That helps.
Yeah, you know.
But also I try to not be so hard on myself, because we are expected to do so many different things. And we don't have to, and we can stand strong behind our choices about what we want to do. And we should feel okay with that. I think another thing is being on this network and being able to talk to ladies like you and hearing your perspective and what you're going through and feeling like we have a place to actually talk about it and bring these topics up is amazing. And I think that is definitely one thing that helps me. So I'm really happy to be a part of this network. And I just think, yeah, just standing strong behind your choices and being easier on ourselves. It's really hard sometimes to be easy on ourselves. And kind of give yourself a pat on the back once in a while. You know, we're doing a lot of things, and we should give that pat to ourselves in the back. We deserve it. We do a lot.
So true. Nikki,
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah.
I think I agree with that, is like what Shauna was saying, of like giving ourselves a little bit more grace and like that pat on the back like you need. I think having a clear idea of what it is that's important to you, like what your value system is, what your goals and priorities are. Like I do like a quarterly check-in of the things that I am working towards, what's important to me, like even in my personal life, like how am I doing? Because it's easy to make decisions or say no or not care when you know what matters the most. So that's something that I do a lot, and I find it's helped. And like it's the same thing. I don't know about you guys, but when my kids started school, I was like, I should be on parent council. I don't want to be on parent council. I'm not a parent council person at all. Like I couldn't care less. It's not me. But I didn't know that at the time about myself. I just thought that's what I should do as a mom, right?
Right.
So true. Zelina, what about you?
Oh goodness. When we're talking social expectations.
Yeah, like how do you handle some of those social expectations?
Yes.
And I don't know, like, do you get more because of your field as well, that people just assume you got your stuff together, or what?
Yes, they really do. Especially like I said, we're in the helping profession. You know, I would go to a surgeon, I would go to the specialty, doctor, because again, I'm assuming he has all his stuff together. We get the same, I guess, expectation, you know, and sometimes just prioritizing ourselves, it can become a lasting thing. You know, we're the last person to worry about what we have going on. But over the years, I've had, like I said, I've been to therapy as well, and I've learned the part of putting me first, sincerely. And sometimes when you say that, it's always coming, depending on the person, especially if they lack the nurturing or the support or did not have that foundation where they were taught to put themselves first, that can be very forceful, you know. And I'm on the podcast, is one of the things I always talk about, being unapologetic, doing it your way. And sometimes that can be hard because sometimes the foundation can be not so great as to who you are today. And that's where the work is in terms of considering yourself first. It's not cliche, you know, regardless of society and their expectations and their motives or whatever their aspect is. It doesn't have to be my narrative. It doesn't have to be my book. I get the right to write this book, and I can write it as beautiful as I want to write it. But the fact of owning it, you know, and that's where I got the whole aspect of unapologetically. Like it's not to offend, but it's also the aspect of me defining at this age, I think I'm 35 today, y'all, that I'm going to walk in this boldness of not being concerned of what other people may think. Because again, I owe myself that. the fact that I'm here now through adversities, life challenges, we've all can relate to some aspect of that. I'm here. And I don't want to waste another day not doing what I love. And that's just being Zelina. So conformity, I'll do that. But when it comes to me feeling that I'm dimming my own light, you know, we have to look at that from where are these thoughts coming from? Where are they being centered? Where did I learn this from? Going back to that self-talk, and then understanding that this is not who I want to be, and I can release this from me today. Because that's how powerful you are. I can release this. So and release it unapologetically. So yeah, giving yourself grace and like, no, I'm gonna do it my way. I think that's Elvis, right? When he walks Elvis out the building.
Yes.
Frank Sinatra, one of those songs. I did it my way. I love that song.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, no, we know. Oh, so good. Ladies, I hate to tell you, but this episode is flying by. These conversations are so good. I want to get a few more very quick questions in because I think they're so important. So kind of on those same lines of expectations, how do you guys feel social media plays into the world of mental health, and how can we like kind of support people better? I will say I get so nervous. Zelina, I have 3 boys. I don't have any girls, but I get so nervous when I see all these filters and what these poor young girls are like looking at their, you know, the different filters of like what they should or could be looking at, and thinking like, what are we doing to people? Like I purposely, when I send people a picture with a filter, it's a bad looking filter. I got a mustache in one. I've got like a triple jaw a little bit. Like I love, yeah, I don't know, but like, what is everyone's opinions on social media and kind of what it's doing to our mental health? Nikki.
That is a loaded question.
I know.
I have a daughter and she's 10. So I feel like she's just starting to get into that zone where they're noticing like what's cool or trendy. And it's a fine line. One, I'll say that I am the mom that I don't let my kids on social. So from that perspective, I really think that they're young and there's not enough benefit to have them on it. And I know they can't avoid that forever, but I think there's a lot of, they have to kind of figure themselves out a little bit more before they go into that space. But we have very honest, open conversations in our house of some of those risks or some of those situations you can deal with. But I think even as an adult, you know, social media is so aligned with what you seek and what you like. It's so crafted. So like when I look at my social, I see a lot of support, a lot of these conversations, a lot of tools. It's very educational. So for me, my social media actually lifts me up because I don't look at accounts that make me feel bad.
I get a lot of cute dogs all the time doing funny things.
Yeah.
That's my jam is what I get.
Right. And I try and cut out the other stuff. But if you're someone that you're looking and you're seeking, or you're following accounts that it looks like their lives are just so perfect, and then you feel less than, I would say that you need to consider how you spend your time or how much time, and maybe shift how you're spending your time on it, because is it really filling your cup, or is it, you know, kind of bringing you down?
Yeah. Zelina, what do you think?
It's almost like a double-headed sword. You know, it's, if we did not have it, I would not have the opportunity to meet any of you in this space, you know, and I'm very grateful to connect with women universal around the world that have these like-minded and want to see people win. It's just, it's amazing. The other side of that is it can be also debilitating to your mental health, and statistics have shown it. You know, recently, I think the depression among young adults as well as adolescents has quadrupled. Due to the influence of social media. And when we have to look at that, that's the gray area. It's a big area, but it's so gray because, again, we think so this is where we're going. This is technology. But if you're a mother or you have children, you know, at this age before they turn 18 is crucial moments in their development. And what they see, they're sponges. My goodness, you think they're not watching, they're watching. They're watching everything you're doing, and 2 or 3 weeks later, they'll let you know they're watching you because they will mimic the same thing that you're like, oh my God, what happened? So like Nikki was saying, choosing the aspect of letting them know themselves without the influence. Even as an adult, I never, and I think I asked Courtney the other day, she said, "Hey, you got an Instagram. I want to join you. You could join the network on there and see all the women." And I asked Courtney, I was like, "Do you think I need one?" Because the pressures that come with
Yeah.
social media, and even myself, the likes, the hearts,
Mhm.
you've worked all day on a post like this is going to kill it. This is going to do it. And then you get 2 likes. My God, I don't think I'm ready to just embrace the truth of, wow, they didn't like me. They didn't like this. So, like Nikki was saying, just prioritizing some things is not good for your mental algorithm. It's just not.
Yeah.
So I've had to delete accounts because of the fact that it's just overwhelming.
Fair.
It's people, like you said, Courtney, and Nikki, who are living, you would be surprised how they're living this fake facade. And as a
Mhm.
therapist, I see it. I'm like, but you got 10 million friends, but you're in here saying you have all these. I said, I never would have known if you wouldn't have showed me your social media. Wow, you do a great job masking this. And that's the double-headed sword, and you have to think how many people are really happy with who they are due to the filters. What's going to happen when that causes a glitch and say, you got to come on here real. You got to be
Right?
what is that going to trigger in them? I hope they keep making them, but Houston, we have a problem. But other than that, just paying attention to your own mindset and saying, is this conducive to my mental health? That's a question I ask for everything. Is eating a Snicker conducive to my mental health? It is right now. It is. I'm going to eat it because I've had a hard day.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, asking yourself consistently, is this conducive to my mental? What is this serving? And that's helped me to say, I'm going to look at baby ducks because I love to look at ducks. And then may look at other women that are very empowering and just keep it going, because I don't want everything to absorb, that it's not serving me any purpose.
So good. Shona, really quickly from you.
Right. Yeah. You guys covered a lot there, but I just think a lot of the times people feel like they can say things about you because they're behind the screen.
Yes.
And so I feel like harassment has got worse in a way. Unfortunately, I've dealt with that myself, and I think it's just, and then when you want to deal with somebody head on, they're not saying anything, but behind the screen, they feel like they can say whatever they want just because you're putting yourself out there. And also too, I think a lot of people are going through really hard times and they're using social media to soothe themselves, to, people in abusive relationships or bad relationships, and they're trying to paint the picture that they're in this beautiful relationship. And that's their way of coping with whatever they're going through. But at the same time, that's not sending out a good message to everybody else. And I think that's not really dealing with the problem head on. And I think there's a lot of problems there in terms of lining everything up. And I think taking a break from social media is very important. And even when people go into, say, a hospital due to mental health issues, one of the first things they do is they take away your phone.
Yes.
They take that phone away and they don't let you have it. I know that's, I've talked to people in the industry, and I can see how that could really have an effect. I mean, some people aren't even living in the moment of their lives. And that's part of mental health too. You have to enjoy the moment where you are and not always be stressing about what the next moment is or how people are going to perceive that moment. And a lot of people just live their lives to make a picture to post on Facebook. How is this going to look there?
Yeah.
And they're really not in the moment, which is so important. So that is my short and sweet explanation there.
All right. Last question, ladies. What advice would you give a woman who may be hesitant about opening up about her mental health struggles because of fear, because of the stigma? How would you kind of support them? And I'm going to Zelina first because she's the expert.
Oh, I love that question. What would I offer a woman that may be having those challenges? I think, again, to a certain degree, in the field that I'm in social work. So they teach us about appropriate self-disclosure. And that's where when we're building that rapport, sometimes people like to connect if they understand that you've been where they are, or you're currently where they are. That's the magic icing. That's it. We can talk about the statistics, the book work, the courses, the knowledge, but if you can get me to understand that you're concerned or what I'm going through, that's a moment of wow, because again, like Shauna was saying earlier, we all live in society where some of us are just wearing these masks and we connect, whether it's for personal or work related, we're all around each other. And we do a good job just trying to mask the truth. So like, I think it was Nikki earlier, no, what Shauna said, I don't feel as I was in terms of opening up about my mental health. I don't feel like I was when I initially started doing that. And I'm pretty sure when you've done that, Shauna, you've had moments people come back in your DMs like, listen, I've been there, or tell you, I know exactly. I thank you, in helping me. So just to meet people where they are, and that could be, hey, I understand. I get it. It's not the sorry sympathy, but providing the empathy. I think it trumps for me, just showing up where people are in that moment is the icing.
So beautiful. Shona, what about you?
Well, first of all, I want to say if anybody wants to reach out to me and needs help, they can. I will listen to you. I will hold your hand. Sometimes you just need someone just to be there with you, not to say a word, just to say, I'm here beside you and I am behind you and I support you. Because a lot of the times we really don't know what to say to help someone. And a lot of the times what we say, it isn't helping. Sometimes people will say, oh, anything you need. Really, we don't know what you need. And maybe you don't know what you need either. But knowing that we're there for you is the most important thing. And I'll tell you right now, I've been through my own struggles and it's not an easy thing to go through. But if you ever want to talk to me and reach out to me, I will listen to you. I will lead you in the right direction. I will be there for you and I won't be judging you. Just know that.
Beautiful. Nikki, what about you?
Those are both such,
Right.
It's powerful. For myself, I think again, like having that sharing of, like I've been there and maybe not I've been there, like in your shoes because, we all live life differently and our experiences are so different. But I think it comes back to like how we show up and what we see, because I'm not going to post on social media every day about mental health struggles that I've had because that's one part of my life. That's one piece of the puzzle, right? But I think to be authentic with someone and share that, yeah, man, like we've gone through some stuff. Like, I think that opens the door and helps people feel more comfortable. And also, holding space for someone. I know I've done this before and I've worked on a lot, but I used to always want to be like, I'll give advice. Like, I'll try and fix this for you. And the reality is we can't do that for each other, but you can hold the space. You can sit there. You can be a sounding board. Sometimes just having someone say to you, like, yeah, that's a lot, is like, oh my gosh, they understand how I feel, right? So I think that's how, I would try and be supportive and be that, shoulder in the best way that I could.
So beautiful. And I would say just like having these open conversations like we did today is such a huge step forward. I love when I'm sitting with some girls and we're having a beverage or two, and then all of a sudden we're talking about mental health and medication or this or things that you were like, oh no. And you could see it in their faces, like, am I okay to talk about this? And when everyone asks more questions or just starts chatting, they both go, oh, I am okay. This is a safe space. We can talk about all of this. So I think these conversations of just like, oh, you do what? Oh, you do this. Oh, I love hearing, but oh, who's Wanda? Like, it's just so beautiful, right? Like, I love all this. So this conversation was so amazing. I thank you ladies so much. If we could just go around really quickly and just let the audience know where they can find you. So Nikki, why don't you start us off?
You can find me on the Fem Network. I'm the host of the show, The 10-Minute Mom. I'm also the owner of the 10minutemom.com blog and a life coach as well.
Amazing. Zelina?
Yes. Same thing as Nikki. I'm new to the network. I'm excited about that as well. And other than that, have the podcast, the Dear Unapologetically Me podcast, which is on pretty much every streaming platform. And I also have a YouTube page. It's the Healing Experience Now. And that's where you will find me at this time until I get some more social media, Courtney.
No pressure. Shona.
Amazing. And like I said, you can reach out to me anytime if you need me. And I am on Instagram at Shauna Brown Music 111 and my website, shaunamusic.com. And by the way, welcome to the family. You're awesome, by the way. We love you. Mwah.
Thank you.
I love all you ladies.
Amazing. And then as always, you can find me on the Femme Network, The Renaissance Mama, or on my website, therenaissancemama.com. Thank you so much for enjoying this incredible episode of The Blaze. Bye for now, friends.